Write a program to store the number 101 in a variable and print it. Before we do this, we need to understand what's a variable. So we said that these are data types. Okay. Now I'll ask you one simple thing, nothing to do with Python, basic maths. I'll tell you a plus b is equal to c and 2 plus 7 is equal to 9. What's the difference between these two statements? A plus b equal to c is variables and this one 2 plus 7 equal to 9 is values. Okay. In Python or in programming, these values are called as literal values, meaning that exact specific value that we are talking about. Okay. For example, I will tell you all of your passwords. Let's talk about password. All of your password is your roll number. Now, when I say your roll number, that roll number is a variable at this point. But when you enter your specific roll number, whatever your roll number is, let's say 123 is your roll number. That 123 is the literal value. So the general value is also called as the variable. These are variables. And the actual value that you store in it is called the literal value. Now if I go here, I want to store the literal 101 into a variable. So I say num equal to 101. This is the simple way of assigning values in the variable. Yes, you are correct. I have to just print num. Okay, and I'll run this. It works. Test case passed. And submit. It passes. Very simple. Very easy. Now in Python, you can convert from one data type to the other also. This is type conversion, typecasting. One very good feature of Python where I can do something like this number is equal to 101. I can convert this to a string. I say word is equal to str of num. And if I check word, it's a string because it has the quotes around it. Okay. I can do the other way around also. I can say word is equal to some big number like this. Alright. Then I can say num is equal to int of word. So if I check num, it's like this. I could also check, let's say, num is equal to float of word. If I check, now it comes with a decimal point, 0. Okay. So to convert from one data type to another, you just have to do str of int of float of. Conversion is not always possible. If I say, for example, word is equal to Python. Now I do num is equal to int of word. Can it convert it?
No, sir.
Not possible, right? Because I go, it says, how do I convert that to an integer? I don't know. So it gives an error over here. So it's not always possible, but sometimes it's possible. So let's look at an example. You have to store the value 4 in an integer, right, and convert it to float value. So I say num is equal to 4. Let's say answer is equal to float of num, print answer. Right, not num. Num will print 4. I want to print 4.0. Okay? Clear everybody so far?
Yes, sir.
Now one major thing, your classes will start soon. Right, I'll share the schedule. You have to ask doubts if you have doubt. So far technology has not been invented that I can read your mind. Right? If I could read your mind, you don't have to speak also. But for now you have to ask doubts. If you are stuck somewhere, if you are not clear, you have to ask. If you don't ask, we can't help you. And we don't at all mind if you ask questions. We will repeat 10 times. In 10 different ways we will repeat if you have a doubt. But you have to ask. That's the only thing, ask. All the sessions which we'll do, many of the sessions will be online. You can ask me doubt personally, me or any other trainer, personally in the session, privately without even disclosing your name. Means your friend will not come to know that you asked a doubt. Because I know if you ask and others come to know you're asking doubt, oh, you're being so smart, why you want to ask doubt? Maybe somebody will tease you. Maybe you are shy. Right? Maybe that is the case. If you personally message the trainer, they will not take your name and they will directly answer the question. Alright? So please ask the question. If you don't ask, your doubt will remain and then you will not get to go to this level. If you're stuck with this level, you can't go to the third level. You need to go one by one. Only doubts clearing will help with that. Please ask doubts. Okay, let's continue. Python has some very important, very powerful thing called as strings. Much more powerful than other programming languages. This concept of string. What is a string? String we mentioned is a text. So let's say I have some text like this. Let's say edyst. Now in Python you can access all the elements of that using indexes. Using the indexes. What will the indexes start from?
0.
Always they start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the indexing. Now if I did, let's say I call this as word. This is stored in variable word. Word of 0 will be E. Very nice. Word of 1?
D.
Very good. What is going to be word of 3?
S.
Very nice. S. Okay. This also is having negative indexes in Python. Okay. So you have negative index also. Word of -1 is
T.
T. So how does it work? It's basically like this. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 corresponds to -1.
-1, -2, -3, -4, -5.
Okay, that's the corresponding over there. Now Python also has something very powerful called slicing. Okay, how does slicing work? It works like this, right? You mention word, start and end. It will take all the words from start to
End.
less than end. It will never take the end word. It's never going to take the end word. For example, if I did word of 0 to 3, what's going to be the answer here? Yes, it's going to take the indexes 0, 1 and 2. It will never include 3. In Python here, when you go to for loop also, in range, that 3 is never included. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, which is E, D, Y. Very good. Okay. Now Python also has the ability. Okay, we'll do one more of this. Let's say we do word 1, 4. What will be the answer?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. It's not actually going to include 4, right? So 1, 2, 3. So DYS is what you are going to get. Okay. Now in this, we are actually speaking, the real syntax is not just start to end. It is start, end, step. By default, step is always 1. So that's why it was going 0, 1, 2. It was doing +1 every time. But if I now change the word, let's say I change the word to program. Right? If I change the word to program and I say not just word 0 to 3, but do 0 to, let's say, 5 and do 2. What this 2 means? Means I start at 0, then I will do +2. Do +2, 4. I try to go to 6, but yes, it stops because 5 is my limit. I can't use 5, I can't go beyond 5. Okay, so it's just 0 to 4. What is that? 0 to 4?
POR.
POR. Right, that's it. 0, 5, 2 means 2 at a time. Okay, what about 0, 5, 3? What will be the answer?
0, 3.
That's it, right? P, G. That's all. Okay? This is the concept of slicing. Some more shortcuts for you all. If I did something like word 1 and this, its starting is 1, ending is by default the last one element, and step is by default 1. Okay? So by default step will be taken as 1 over here. So it becomes ROGRAM. Okay? This is the case. If I give word 4. What does this mean? Start from beginning, go up till 4, but don't include 4. Alright? So it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be PRO. Clear everybody? This part? It can also use negative indexes. It can also use negative indexes. So let's say this. Let's write it over here itself. Okay, so I say word of. Now if I want to do negative indexes, what is my default step, everybody, when I'm generally doing? Default step is 1. So I say, you know what, you start at -3, go to -1. Can I go from -3 to -1 with step 1? -3 plus 1 will be -2, plus 1 will be -1. So whenever you are writing, always make sure, is it possible to go from start to end? Is it even possible to go from start to end? Here, -3 to -1 is possible. Because -3 plus 1 is -2, -2 plus 1 is -1. So here, what are the indexes it will take? -3, -2, -1 will not be taken because -1 will be end. -3 and -2. What is -3 and -2? R, A. Very nice. R, A. Right? So R and A, -3 and -2.